Hey guys.
Any questions? Got confirmation that Tony Rojas is out long term. Can you talk us through maybe what's the next step for your linebacker group in adjusting to that?
Yeah, obviously Dom will step into that role. And then obviously, we're having the discussions about green lighting, possibly both Tash and Cam.
We haven't heard much about Cam from people. What have you seen him so far do on the practice field?
Yeah, what's helpful is we have these Sunday scrimmages, so we've had a chance to evaluate those guys each week. Early on, Tash was getting a little bit more time with the varsity. We're giving Cam an opportunity now as well, bouncing those guys back and forth between the D squad and the varsity. But they're going to have an opportunity, and this is how it is in college football. And one of those guys, hopefully we'll get some work this week. We'll get a chance to evaluate him during practice, and then hopefully some of those guys will get some opportunities during the game on Saturday.
James, how has the team responded the last few days coming off of a tough game? We saw you on Monday, but I know you don't do a whole heck of a lot on Sunday. So what are you seeing on the practice field from the way they're responding?
Yeah, obviously, it's good to get back out on the grass and get to work and focused on the next opponent. And obviously, we made all the adjustments and corrections from the film on Sunday. But it's good to get out back on the grass and get our focus on the next opponent after making the corrections and learn from some of the things that we could have done better the previous Saturday.
You've talked about in the past for bowl trips, that bonding time for the team. You got a long flight, you're getting out early. Is this maybe the right time for a trip like this where you get a little bit of extra time just as a team away from campus and things like that?
Yeah, it's a good time to get out of town, for sure. The time, I wouldn't describe it a little bit like a bowl trip. But these opportunities, you hear from a lot of the former players and NFL players that come back to talk about these are the times you miss, the time in the hotel, the time traveling. Obviously, we'll fly out of Harrisburg and then fly back in here, so we also have the aspect of getting to Harrisburg. But yeah, these are important trips for us. We got to handle it well. You look at these West Coast trips or East Coast trips in the conference. Some schools have really struggled with that, so we got to do a good job. And then just all the uncertainty that comes with this opponent and UCLA with the amount of changes that they've had. So, it's going to be an important game for us and an important trip.
Coach, have you played an opponent with as much uncertainty on the coaching staff and what they might be or might not be?
No. I mean, maybe first game of the year type of stuff. But no, not like this. In my years, me and Andy were talking about it before practice. I've never really seen anything like this.
James, how would you evaluate Drew's decision making? He's been on some of these option runs and his overall comfort level with them.
Say this again?
How would you evaluate Drew's decision making on some of the option runs and his overall comfort level with them?
When you say option runs,
where he's got the option of taking himself or just giving it to the running back?
Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's been good. It's been a big part of what we've done. It was a big part of what we did late in the game on Saturday. I think, some quarterbacks, it's early completions. Some quarterbacks like Trace, it was some early runs. I think for Drew, both is important. I think typically his game comes alive. Once he's been able to get a couple hits, with his running game and making plays with his feet. Typically, that's when he plays his best football. So it's been good. It's been an important part of what we're doing. We're probably doing more of the power read stuff than we are the zone read stuff to this point. But it's been good.
Coach said on Monday, talked about you and the staff doing a lot of research about how to travel out west for USC last year. Going to UCLA this week, have you guys made any changes to how you approach a West Coast travel from last year to this year?
No, we're taking a very, very similar model. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with, what time is the game, all those types of things. And there's so many similarities with this trip. We're using a similar model. There's subtle tweaks that we've made, but not a whole lot, because we felt after last year's trip, we did an after-action review and felt good about how we planned it. and how we executed the plan.
So what does Friday look like for the team, and then for you? Are you able to get out and recruit out there?
Yeah, so Friday will be like a normal Friday for us, except it will all happen in California. We'll practice out there. We'll have our meetings out there. It'll basically be almost like a home game, but out there. By getting there a day early allows us to do all those things. Our day's not broken up with travel. We'll have our Fast Friday practice, and then I'll get out to recruit. But as you can imagine, I can't mention where I'm going, but I'll be there all day. I'll just go to a game.
James, before the season, you talked about having 7 guys on the offensive line that you view as starters. Do you still view it as that case? And if not, are there any guys that are, either subtracted or added to that mix?
No, I think it's the same group of guys, Cooper and TJ as well. I think it's the same group of guys. I think, we'd like to create a little bit more flexibility, and get that group, playing consistently. But no, I think it's the same group of guys.
Hey, James, there's a growing criticism that maybe Drew isn't the best fit in Andy's offensive system. What are your thoughts on that? What would you say to that?
Again, I'm not going to get into what's going on out there in terms of opinions and those types of things. I didn't feel that way last year. Thought we did some really, really good things last year. I think we've done some good things this year, just not consistent enough. It's a pro-style offense. What we do in the run game, what we do in the pass game, what we do in protections, what we do in pass concepts, it's pro-style. So I don't necessarily see it the same way.
James, what's the last day or two been like for Tony? Have you been around him and that kind of thing?
Yeah, obviously, not good. Obviously personally disappointed, and then disappointment with the team as well. And guys will rally around him and support him like we've done in the past. This isn't the first time we've been through something like this, and he's not the last player to go through something like this. So obviously the hardest part is the initial shock of it and the initial news of it. But the next guy is going to have to step up, and I think the sooner that Tony can get involved in helping prepare those guys and getting them ready to play, the better we'll be and the better he'll be, because I think it'll keep him busy and engaged too.
James,
2 more guys.
We talked to Zion Tracy earlier today, and he discussed the strides he's made in terms of football IQ, being in that nickel spot. How have you seen him grow since he got here, especially given that he was someone coming out of high school, could have played either side of the ball?
Yeah. Obviously now year 2 playing the nickel position. Last year returning punts for us. I've seen him take tremendous strides. We're asking him to do more things rather than just play man coverage now too. So I think that's helped his development. He had some bumps and bruises this summer that missed some time from. But having him back and having him full go, I think has been really important for our defense and what we want to do moving forward. But I'm pleased with Zion. I'm a Zion fan.
James, you talked about an open competition in that second safety spot. It was all King Mack on Saturday night. What did he do to assert himself in that kind of a way? And I guess, is that competition still going? Yeah, competition is still going, but obviously there's a gap right now, or he wouldn't have played all 82 reps. But I think it's some of the physical consistency in how he practices. I think it's some of the mental consistencies in terms of his job responsibility, and he's really worked at it. And I think part of it too is just guys handling things the right way. I thought King handled it really well when he wasn't the starter out of camp, and attacked special teams and attacked defense the right way. And now he's back in that spot, and we got to make sure that everybody's doing it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.